Hello YouTubers! What I'm going to do, hopefully in a quick video, is we're going to talk about the Foil Quill for the Cameo 4. It does work, but with a different adapter, and I was just going to go over it real quick in a video. So let me go show you what you need. Alright, so you can use all three adapters. The little one, the fine point, is a little more tricky. It wants to rip the foil. But instead of using the regular adapter, you're going to use this D adapter. If you got rid of your other adapters, you can buy another kit and get another whole tip and everything else. And then it comes with a whole new set of adapters. But they just screw on. So we're going to do the medium tip. So there you go. And then you're going to need obviously some paper. Anytime I use paper in one of the machines, I dig out the incredibly well-loved mat. Paper, if you stick it to a very sticky mat, will tear. So, well-loved mat. Then your tape to tape your paper onto your mat. And then your washi tape to tape your foil to your paper. This is Spellbinders Foil, which I found works really, really well. This is Spellbinders Foil. And it's cheap. This was only $3 for the whole roll. It looks like Memory Keeper's foil has come down in cost now that the brush is kind of worn off. So, but foil of any kind. And then I got this Hello to cut out using the Kraft Blade and Carriage 2. Now, I know a lot of people are upset with the Cameo 4 because you can't sketch in one carriage and then cut in the other like you could in this Cameo 3. You can with the Kraft Blade. The thing to keep in mind with the Kraft Blade is it cannot do detail cuts. It can't do detail cuts, intricate cuts, anything like that. Basically, it can do circles and rounded rectangles really well. So I don't know if that's helpful, but you can quill in one and then cut in the other if you really, really wanted to. And I will show you how to do that real quick. I also do have a whole big tutorial on this Kraft Blade. It's kind of a diva best friend. So I'll put the link up for that. And I'll also put a link down in the description for everything that's here. Now I'm going to go plug this in. He needs to warm up for about 5 minutes or so. So I'm going to plug him in. And we'll get our mat ready. And then I'll go set it up in the software and show you how to turn all this on. So, it's not really that high tech. We're going to tape our paper to the mat. And then you're going to take your foil and tape it to your paper. I'm a fan of bigger tape is better than less tape. And I don't have one of the mats, the magnetic mats, but I've heard they're tricky to work with the 4. So I'm not entirely sure if they work very well with the 4 or if the taping method is the best method. Alright. So we're in Voyage version 4.3.3, I think. And so when I clicked new mat, it gave me this little bitty thing. So we're in page setup, and I've got automatic Cameo 12-inch. My reveal is how much white. For whatever reason, it's coming in as crazy sizes. So instead of custom, we want letter. And then I've turned my letter sideways, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to do final merge and bring in our sketch file. This is a sketch file I just made. It says it's a bunch of hellos. So let's resize it and then ungroup. And then I just want one of my hellos. So, alright, so we're going to do greetings. And I've kind of guesstimated where it is on my... And I'm going to put it on my mat where my foil is. Alright, and we're going to go over to the Send panel. And we are going to go do cardstock plain. Now remember to select a material that would have a sketch feature. If it doesn't come down, select a different feature or select a different material that would have a sketch feature. And then I've just been doing pen holder and sketch. Now I've been backing down to 10. Actually, no. Yeah. I did a force of 10 and a speed of 5 is what I've been doing. You can play around with settings in just one pass. You can play around with your own settings. For the little bitty tip, the fine tip, I did a force of 1 and a speed of 1. Any of the higher forces and higher speeds tend to tear the foil. So, but I've had good luck with the medium tip and the big tip at a force of 10 and a speed of 5. If you're doing the most detailed thing on the planet, you're going to want to bump the speed down. If you're doing like squares and rectangles, you can bump the speed up. And the force should be fine at 10. And then we're just going to load it in and let it go. Alright, so my tip has been warming up. I've got the D adapter on. I'm going to put it in all the way down and then close it. It's not going to want to. And we're going to hit send. Alright, so while that is working, if you want to cut the paper out with the Kraft Blade, I've been setting it at 5, but it's kind of hard to figure out where it's set at. So scroll it or turn it all the way to the blade's all the way out, and it won't turn anymore. And then bump it back down to 30. So that means it's at 30. We can go all the way down again. Now it's at 20. Now it's at 10. And then I've just been setting it at 5. That's AstroBright cardstock that we're gonna cut. And then I'm gonna go draw a shape in the software, and then we're gonna go cut it out. And there's my puppy wanting me to throw her ball. Alright, so it's all done. So you're gonna pop this guy out, and then I like to take this guy off. It doesn't seem to me to be good to put all the heat in there. And then I let them cool down. And then you're gonna peel off your foil. You can use anything extra that hasn't been foiled. If the tape gets to it, it'll take the foil off and you're done. You can't use it. And then put this guy, the Kraft Blade, in tool 2. This is the 3mm Kraft Blade that's meant to go with the Cameo 4. Alright, so now that we're done with this guy, you're going to click in and click no sketch, because we don't want it to do it again. Now the Kraft Blade can only do rounded things, at least to my knowledge at this moment when I'm making this video. The regular rectangles with sharp corners, the Kraft Blade doesn't seem to do very well. So the rounded rectangle or an oval would be the best thing to use. And so just make it, draw it. But if you wanted to cut cards out or something, this would save you some time. So we can send. Now you're going to hit no sketch. We're going to minimize this guy. Now if I come down here to cardstock, it's going to give me this message because there's no setting in for cardstock right now. Yeah. So if I want to use a Kraft Blade, I use balsa wood if I don't want the smart, okay. So if I go down to fabric, it's going to put these, any kind of fabric setting, it's going to put these smart loops in here, and we don't need them for this. So if I want smart loops, I put in one of the fabric settings, and if I don't, I use balsa wood. And then come down to cut. It doesn't seem to work if you use the auto cut, and it's a 3mm, and we're going to cut. I've been using a force of 1 and a speed of 1, and it cut without a problem with a blade of 5. You do not want to use too much force. This is the high pressure carriage, and eventually if you do too much, you'll get a message about don't do that. So force of 1, speed of 1, and then we'll hit send. Also, between foiling and then putting in the Kraft Blade, I didn't take my mat out of the machine. If you take it out of the machine, it's not going to line back up, so don't do that. But there it is. And I always like to flip my mats over and peel off the paper that way. But there you go. You have successfully foil quilled in the Cameo 4. And that is all there is to it. To foil quill and the Cameo 4. Not that much different than the other machines. If you have any questions or if there's any specific videos you want to see for the new Cameo 4, drop me a comment. I am not a person in the know, just trying to figure it out like everybody else. So, but if there's anything you'd like to see, let me know. Please like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.